There's a couple of ways to do it. This is one without any actions. So I just use my lasso tool that's over here. I just select the area that I want to fill in. I right-click my mouse and this little drop box will pop up, and you can choose to use fill or content aware fill. Either will work the same, but hit fill and just make sure that this drop-down box is content aware, and I just make sure that all of these settings are the same. Once you've done it once, it usually keeps it the same way. You just hit OK and it will fix it up for you. This one's done a pretty good job. If you find that there's any patches that are a little bit obvious, so sometimes when it's close to the skin, it will select the skin and you just have to clone it out a little bit I use my patch tool or the clone tool, whichever I find works. And sometimes it's a bit of using both options. I'm just going to remove that little spot using the spot selection tool. And then to get the fade, I do a Control J on a PC, or I think it's Command J on the Mac. Using my paintbrush, actually use the eyedropper tool first. Find a colour close to around the head is usually I find the one that helps blend it the easiest. And then get your paintbrush. I lower the opacity of it, so I do it about 60%. And you can also change the flow if you find that it's a little too strong, but 60% usually works pretty well for me. And I will just paint that on. I will go over the baby sometimes, just depending on the backdrop and what I'm trying to cover up. I come around the front a little bit, but I try not to take out this part of the blanket. So if you come back over to here, you'll find that you've got your mask. Add your layer mask, and then using your paintbrush with the black selected, we will paint that off the baby. And that is just checking my hardness. Sometimes you may need to increase the hardness so that it's more definite. But I'm just removing this off the baby. You can turn it on and off to see where you've missed. You can also hit the little like slant button on your keyboard, and that will actually bring up the mask so you can see where you need to paint off. I'm just going to bring up the hardness just a little bit, and I just get in around the hair and then paint that off. It sounds like my kids are all coming back in from their friend's house, so I'm sorry about this. And then just paint off that. So that is all there. You can just go flatten, and that's your picture finished. You can, if you like, I use LSP. They have the blanket fade, which gives you the exact same result. It just does it for you. You can add your darken and lighten areas. This is one of my favorite parts of this action, is the blanket crease action, and it literally makes creases so easy. You just hit the button, and then we come over to the blanket fix layer, click on the blank, like so the layer, I don't know if you can see, it's got the little squares on it. I click on that, and then you select a color near where you need to brush it off, and you just can brush off the creases. So I mean, there's not very many creases in this one, and it is okay to have that little bit of a slant there. I might even come up anywhere that you can see that is a little bit not perfect. I'm just going to reduce that hardness back down. It's getting a very strong line. You can see this paints off the creases, and that's your image. So I'll show you quickly the before. So that is your before and the after.